Hi, I'm Rick Yanez, Vice President of Sales and Marketing with Knight. We're going to be examining the actual dispensing systems that Knight manufactures to meet this application need, and walking you through programming and some of the do's and don'ts of injecting grease trap digestants into a sewer line or directly into a grease trap. The application for liquid bacteria and liquid enzyme dispensing started in about 1985. Knight was one of the first companies to develop an automated liquid injection system using peristaltic pump technology to meter liquid enzymes, liquid bacterias, and other products like delimonene, which are citrus-based solvents, into grease traps and drain lines for the purpose of keeping the drain lines open, keeping the grease in liquid form, and otherwise maintaining a sanitary and dry kitchen environment. We have an example of an actual grease trap. This is one that's fairly large for a larger institutional user. As you can see, it's a rather robust, heavy-duty looking device. These are generally submerged in the ground and are the obligation of the institutional user to keep clean. The idea, of course, being that you don't want grease in the sewage discharge line because the grease does, in fact, foul the sewage treatment process. If we open the lid for the grease trap, inside we see we've got an inlet to our trap and we've got an outlet to drain. The dirty water with grease enters through the inlet side of the trap, through a baffle, and the water without the grease discharges out this side. Because grease is lighter than water, the water runs under the baffle, under the divider, and out up this chute and out to drain, while the grease settles out in the center section and is stored in the trap. What we're trying to do with our grease trap digestant products and with the automated injection is to keep the water flowing through the trap and to keep the trap grease somewhat liquid so that it doesn't back up and cause a drain blockage in the kitchen. This watertight box is a thermoplastic injection molded material with a watertight cover that protects the gear motor, the power supply, and the electronics built inside. It's a very simple installation. You simply set 2 screws on the wall. Typically the dispenser is mounted below the drain table or somewhere in close proximity to where you want your grease trap digestant to be injected. So installation is very fast and very simple. You'll notice a power cord that exits the one side of the dispenser. This is connected to a wall mount transformer. Today for our demonstration we've got it plugged into just an ordinary extension cord, but this should be mounted into a wall socket. There's a handy screw here so that you can make sure that it's fastened there securely and tightly and won't be knocked out accidentally. Looking closer at the dispenser, we notice we have a very simple user interface panel here on the front. There's a program switch, 2 prime buttons that also double as your up and your down keys. When you receive this dispenser from the factory, there's a jumper inside set on the circuit board. This jumper is your security jumper that would be located here out of the box. What that does is it prevents anybody from reprogramming your dispenser once it's on the wall and you've secured the cover with these 2 Phillips screws. So if you want to program the unit out of the box, first of course you want to plug it in, unplug your security jumper. It's easiest to pull the cover back up, just grab a few threads. Now you're ready to program. Okay, now let's program an event together. Simply press the program key. The first display will show us the current time of day. The next display shows us the total number of events. And as I said, you can program up to 20 events in any single 24-hour period. In this case, we're going to program our second pump event. But first, you have to walk through your first event to the end. Now we're at our second event. To program. Now, what time do we want that event to occur? In this case, let's make it 4 o'clock in the morning before everybody comes to work. Okay, we've got that set. We're on the AM indicator. Press program to advance. Now, how long do we want that pump to run? Right now, the default is 1 minute. I'm going to set that to 30 seconds. I'm going to set that to 30 seconds because I've calculated my flow rate of my pump, and I know how much product I'm going to get in 30 seconds. Press program again. That's all there is to it. I've programmed my second event. So if you know how much chemical you want to deliver into the trap over what period of time, it's really just that simple. If you want more than 2 events, just repeat the same steps we went through, and then you're done. Shipped with every Pro Watch is 20 feet of 1/4-inch OD poly tubing for suction and for discharge. In the accessory kit, you'll also get a tube stiffener that looks like this. The idea is to push your poly tubing cut to a length long enough to reach to the end through the stiffener so the tubing doesn't curl up on the end and keep you from pulling all the product off the bottom of the pail. Once you've done that, simply insert it into your drum. And on the discharge side, we supply a 1/4-inch Jayco fitting that looks like this. That fitting should be drilled and plumbed into the discharge of the 3-compartment sink or somewhere down the line that leads to the grease trap so that you can introduce your enzyme products into the line so that eventually they arrive in the trap. When selecting a location to inject the grease trap digestant, be sure to inject upstream of the grease trap. Obviously, it wouldn't do you a whole lot of good at keeping the grease flowing through the system if you were to plumb it on the discharge side. Most grease traps are installed in a drain line typically that is not near a dishwasher because hot water and or chlorine or sanitizers will kill the enzyme and eliminate the process of the enzyme breaking down the grease. So anywhere upstream of the grease trap, typically well treat the trap with your products in an effective manner. How much of these products that you use is a decision that you have to make with your chemical supplier based on soil conditions, based on the size of the grease trap, based on the soil load, and other environmental conditions. On the front panel of the Pro Watch is a prime button. You should train your customer on how to prime the dispenser each time they change out the pail. When you press that button, prime 1, you'll notice that the real-time display comes on and the pump begins to run. Let's prime this pump together. Okay, at this point, our dispenser is primed and ready to dispense. Before we're done, we need to replace the security jumper in the cabinet. Open the box again. Simply put your jumper back in place. Close the box up securely. Now the system is protected. I press that button, it shows us it's secure and nobody can program it or reprogram it from the outside. It's ready to run. Anytime you press the prime, the unit will prime and show you the current time of day. And that's all there is to it. It's a great profit opportunity. It's very simple. There are a lot of very good liquid products out there to do this job, and we're there to help you. Thank you very much.